Sports Illustrated Yumi Nu. Sports Illustrated 2022. Go to the picture, Ian, the cover. So she came out on the swimsuit 2022 Sports Illustrated, and there was some, I would argue, funny controversy over this, mainly just because of the simple fact that she's on the more plus-size model scale, and it's Sports Illustrated, and they're more about, if that's even what they're about, like fitness, like athletic-looking girls. Is she the first fat girl on Sports Illustrated? I generally don't know.
I don't even know if Sports Illustrated just posts athletes anymore. But question, obviously
That's
not
actually a
because
good
they.
point.
It's not because they posted Tierra. Question: is it a swimsuit issue?
Yeah,
And so
swimsuit
therefore,
2022.
So therefore, the whole purpose is just swimsuits and bodies in swimsuits.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't read Sports Illustrated.
Okay. Cool. I don't see why this would be controversial then, but I'm listening.
Well, the reason why I think it got as controversial as it did was because Jordan Peterson had a hot take. Yeah, go ahead and click on it. The one time I was like, oh, come on, man. This is one of the takes you didn't have to say, which was, sorry, not beautiful. And no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that. So that's why the original reason this was controversial is because, like, they're trying to equate. I don't know how this argument came about, to be honest with you, but the argument was going around that this is not beautiful. She's fat or whatever they wanted to say. And the Sports Illustrated were the, I guess, controversy that, or not controversy, whatever the word I'm trying to think of.
What are your opinions of her?
I honestly think she's pretty.
Yeah.
If she definitely was a little bit more on the athletic scale, she'd look better. But like, I don't think she's ugly. The people trying to say she's ugly are tripping. I admit, like, she,
away from that.
yeah, her size is not my type personally.
So,
but
question,
other than that, she's pretty.
Do y'all equate beauty to sexual appeal?
Yeah, I think so.
I would say so.
It has an effect, if anything.
Well, I think I would categorize it when I'm specifically thinking of women, though.
Yeah, but could you say a woman was beautiful who you were not sexually attracted to?
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah.
Then I can wholeheartedly disagree with what he said.
Well, with the what I was trying to get at, Gene, is that like other things I find beautiful aren't because I'm like sexually aroused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I think you can appreciate.
That's why this conversation was, I guess, controversial, was because there's been that talk in, I guess, the health side of the world of community, which is they're trying to push how fat people is healthy, and they're heavy like no because of all these things they talk about, and this is them trying to spread their, I guess, counter rebuttal to this narrative, which is no, you have to be fit. It's not okay to be fat, blah blah blah. And when they tried to equate beauty into it was where I was like, yeah, that's not, stick to your guns. I can feel one way about it, like, sure, but once you say she's not pretty, it's like, nah, she's pretty. It's just, I agree, she could definitely lose some weight if she wants to, and she probably would, in my opinion, look probably prettier. But when they try to equate the whole beauty thing, like, no, she's beautiful.
See, the reason I asked the questions I asked was because if it's a swimsuit edition, right, it's showing different bodies in different swimsuits. It makes more sense to show a model like her, because if you're trying to sell swimsuits or if you're just trying to sell appeal, more women look like her than,
I was about to say, if that's a fucked up
women
take.
look like.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you know what I'm saying? The athletic.
She's the average, no?
Yeah,
like
she'd
that,
be more closer to the average.
I would
in
agree
my
with that,
assumption.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So one, that's that. Two, she's clearly a beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to say she's beautiful doesn't mean that there's any, like, we kind of took the sexual attraction kind of out of it per what we just said. So it's like, for him to just say not beautiful, it's not beautiful to you, but like, people can appreciate beauty. There's beauty, like, that's why I said, is beautiful always something like with sexual appeal, because beauty just isn't, to me, it's not like that.
Well, the reason why I tried to explain the way I did was because I think Jordan Peterson, because I mean, I'm a Jordan Peterson
He's saying
fan,
he's not attracted to her.
Or stan. I don't think that's what he's trying to say. That's why I was saying that because I think what happened with him is he got lost in that narrative, which is the equating fat with being healthy or being healthy, and jump the gun with people having that I would say stupid argument of beauty with this, because it's like, that's not the argument. She's beautiful. If you don't think she's beautiful, I mean, that's fine with you.
And then you don't know, like, it's swimsuit 2022. It's a swimsuit. It's a swimsuit edition or whatever. And it said, be the change you want to see. You don't know.
Go to the article real quick.
I mean, you just don't know if she's lost weight. You don't know if this is the weight she's been on. You don't know if she plans on losing weight. We don't know any of those things.
Didn't we have an article for it? Because I think they have more pictures. Yeah, that one.
Well, I do think
Keep
the
scrolling.
statement Jordan Peterson made was just to be contrarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Honestly, I can agree to that. I saw the tweet and I was like, no.
Like, if that's actually a picture from her, like, dude, she's still hot. Like,
I agree,
she's
dude.
gorgeous,
Like,
man. Like,
I agree. I don't deny that one bit. I just, when it comes down now preference, like, would I like her to be a little bit more on the fit side? Yes. But no, sometimes,
I think what's going on too is Sports Illustrated is because of the times we're in. I think a lot of people are either hyper leaning into sex or kind of leaning the opposite way. And I don't mean opposite like anti-sex or anything like that. There's still some type of appeal to it, but it's almost like some brands are more focused on giving you a realistic idea of what
I've been feeling that
people are
too,
attracted
man.
to, and then some brands are hyper leaning into the sexuality thing. So I think we've been so used to Sports Illustrated posting, I don't want to say hypersexual, but suggestive. Is always bikinis, is always fit girls, and da da da. And
it's usually boys back in the day's first gateway into like
perversion,
magazines. Exactly.
to any type of perversion.
Yeah.
So like I get it, but
my dad has a Sports Illustrated magazine.
But if this is them taking a step away from it, which I honestly feel they've been taking steps away from it.
I don't
a
think
lot.
This is away from it, to be honest with you. I just think
it's not away from it in like a large step away from the whole category, but it's a step in like we're not prioritizing that audience that just wants this type of body, this type of thing, this type of.
Here's my issue, man, because the dichotomy that you're talking about, when I see it, and I've been thinking about this as well, is I look at corporations and they're starting to put up more realistic images or imagery.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get on fucking Instagram and it's what Sports Illustrated used to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I'm just like, I don't know what's happening or what any of the generations want. Like, who wants what? Because evidently the mainstream, like, say, corporations and stuff like that are moving away from that, while Instagram, which is supposed to be the social media, is just what it used to be, man.
Well, I think it's to stick to your dichotomy point. It shows a vast difference from trying to be, when you're trying to control something. I would say maybe a bad example would be obviously Sports Illustrated, and it's not necessarily a control thing. It's more like it's trying to be an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
You have to appeal to a certain base to get your magazines to sell, to get your numbers up, to earn money.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that is, I would argue, to appeal to the average, because like we said earlier, her I guess body size arguably is the average most. Not even women, just I think people tend to be more on the heavier side but plus side, average. Arguably, an average guy would find her, one, physically attractive, and two, sexually attractive.
Correct.
Whereas Instagram, the only people who feel comfortable sexualizing themselves, I guess, or if not sexualizing themselves, being more forward with their beauty to a way of, I don't want to say exploitation, but monetization, I guess. That's better. Yeah, monetization would be people who are actually now the unaverage, but in the positive direction of the unaverage. Girls who are physically fit, tight waist, or the pearl body with either big butt or big boobs, or just something that not the average person is anymore, I guess. And they tend to excel because that's what is more.
Which do you think is the more realistic
desirable
representation, man? Because how many girls have you seen do the fucking challenge of the like small waist, or pretty face and a big back, whatever that fucking like dance is? Dude, that is literally always like a reel that like.
So wait, what's your question? What's more attainable or what's more realistic?
Which one do you think is the more realistic representation, or the most
something in the middle?
Realistic.
I think it's something in the middle, because obviously the girls on Instagram tend to be on the younger side, which they haven't really, because obviously they hit puberty, but it's like when you hit a certain age as guys and girls, because obviously guys hit it too, girls hit it a little bit younger, but where I guess metabolism can no longer keep up. You actually have to now watch what you eat and work out. Obviously those kind of girls are unrealistic because they just naturally have that without trying. Good for them. That's awesome. Benefits of being young. But once you hit a certain age, there comes the amount of effort. That type of body obviously is not going to look like the super skinny girl with a tiny waist and fat ass. Either one, you got work, or two, you're obviously young, and that can probably see in the face somehow. But the average, I would say, the more attainable, and I think beauty center guys specifically, because obviously we're guys judging her beauty, would more likely go to, if the same girl side by side look wise, but if they were a body type, somewhere on I would argue a girl who's not like buff, but if she works out, she usually has big, thick thighs, big butt. Like that's when we work on focus on when they work out, and some kind of, not like a tiny waist, but like she's got abs. She's I don't want to say abs, but she's just, her waist isn't like muffin top kind of thing.
Well, that's an
I think that's
observation,
average.
because that actually wasn't what I was
Inattainable.
technically asking.
Okay,
I was
sorry.
mostly asking, like, what do you think is the thing that they want the most? But like
Something
through
like
your
that, I would
answer,
argue.
I feel like you kind of answered the question in an indirect way, because I feel like, just like you said, the Instagram people are more younger, and then maybe the people who are looking at these corporations put out their content are older. So the older women or older men would want this imagery, whereas the younger generation wants the imagery that's being put out by Instagram.
Yo, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. This podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds, a local Atlanta area small business. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, to your bedroom, to your dining room. They even got custom kids blinds with their favorite superhero or princess. Use our promo code FDT. Our audience gets 10% off their first purchase. You can find them at Facebook at Angel Blinds, or Instagram at Angel Blinds _ between Angel and Blinds. So check them out.
I agree with that. Y'all think that you know the feeling we've had lately where, I don't want to say we, I can't speak for anybody else, but where it's kind of been like corporations are hopping on bandwagons too quickly?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I actually just came up with a theory for that. I think that, and it's just me bullshitting, but I think that what happened was, before, corporations used to be really late to the bandwagon. The bandwagon was normally started by tastemakers. They were normally contrarians or people who wanted to change whatever the norm was at the point, whatever the field is, whatever it is, right? But those are the people who normally set the trend, right? So those trendsetters are now working for the corporations. So now where it seems like they're hopping on all the bandwagons, because those trendsetters, where it would start off underground, it would start off small, the idea would bubble and grow, it's immediately going to the corporation. But also, because it's immediately going to the corporation, it's immediately seeming overly done, overly like.
Could we compare this also to Victoria's Secret?
Pardon? Oh, the
Down syndrome. I forgot her name.
Sophia
something. Yeah, Sophia something.
Yeah,
forgot.
Sophie.
Wouldn't this be a similar conversation?
Yes, I'm surprised you forgot.
This guy.
Well, I think the bandwagon hopping is also due to wanting to be the first to, I don't know, whatever X achievement.
Correct.
Where it's just like, we're the first to have done this. We were the first to put a X person on this page. We were the first to do this for X people. And so the corporations really want to catch that. And the only way you can catch that, though, is to just kind of put your fingers in all
everything.
pies.
Yeah. I feel like that's what we're kind of seeing now. But no, I don't think. I mean, if we're talking about them, if the question here is, do we believe Sports Illustrated was it good for them to post her? Or do you think that it sends a bad message to people?
Not really. If anything, it's making me think, because it makes me wonder, like, what do people really want? Because for me, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'll go watch a Marvel movie and I'll see like the way a superhero looks, and I know that they're living off the Marvel diet and the Marvel life. You know what I mean? So they got to that level that they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But a little part of me thinks, like, I know it's gonna be really fucking hard for me to get, but I'm gonna try still. And like when I'm in the gym, like, I'm thinking about that. And
so what's the ideal is?
Yeah, I don't mind having that goal in my mind.
So then, isn't the argument then the more we start accepting, I guess, average, the more we get away from an ideal? And the question is it wrong to have an ideal?
Yeah, like, that's actually kind of what I'm getting at too, because I also understand the argument that, like, you shouldn't beat yourself up if you can't get that in your lifetime. You should still be kind to yourself 100%. And stuff like that, and be realistic.
If you're not allowed to enjoy your life because of it, then I feel like that's when that's the balance.
I guess the issue is that it's with Sports Illustrated. If this was any other magazine outside of Sports Illustrated, I don't think this would have been that controversial, because she is, I honestly, I'm curious to ask Ethan, like, why don't you think she's hot? Like, what do you mean by hot? Because, like, I'm looking at her right now and, like, she's not ugly. She may be, like, on the thicker side or the weight side, but, like, she's not ugly.
More on the weight side. Oh my god.
I'm trying to careful with my words, I'm trying to get canceled over here, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to avoid the F word. That's why.
If I said it, I said it with a
Because I think the whole point is what Doc was just getting at, which is the whole, like, ideal thing. Like, I think the issue is Sports Illustrated, and that's why the issue with that it was Sports Illustrated, is they're getting away from an ideal, and the point of Sports Illustrated is to promote kind of fitness, I guess, arguably. Just sports related, which is fitness.
Swimsuit edition, then, I mean, how many girls do you see in swimsuits that are athletic?
Well, it's the question you asked, too, before we started the podcast. We were talking about whether or not we want to talk about this, which was, is she even in a sport? Do you think girls who even are in sports look like this?
No, but see, that's the question. It's not the reason why I didn't bring it up. Is it's not fair to ask because this issue also features Sierra, a singer.
It doesn't list. I didn't even read it. Kim Kardashian. All right, you're right. That kind of does mute the whole conversation in that regard because they got Kim Kardashian on there,
so
and
boom.
she's
That's why I'm saying I don't look at Sports Illustrated, so I didn't know if they only posted sports content or sports related content.
Gotcha.
Or like that's why I said, is this a swimsuit issue? And look at it, says December 15th swimsuit issue only for the swimsuit.
So it's just people wanting to be mad about something. Okay, if I were in the club, I would be looking at her, not as pretty, skinny friend. I'm confused. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry.
If you were trying to get some twerk, is that what you're talking about?
Like you mean like you would assume she'd have a pretty friend and you go for her instead? Any last thoughts on this before we move on?
Jordan, expect better from you.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hip shot. Although I'm also wondering too, like the original ideal of like Sports Illustrated was that it was for dudes, right? It was just like here's sports, here's super hot women.
Yeah, here's sports and here's women.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I never.
Guys.
Is that what it really was?
I don't know. I generally don't know. Like I said, never really subscribed.
Well, that's how I always interpret it when I looked at it because that's all I ever saw. I always saw like I just saw sports and hot women, and I was like, well, I know the demographic. I get it.
Exactly.
Even as a kid, I always knew it. I don't know if they're trying to get them to change other guys' minds with this or stuff like that, but to me, the biggest question of it from it all is just the idealism. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Is it good
honestly.
to have an ideal? Because if it is good to have an ideal, I think they should go back to the really hard to attain figures, stuff like that, for both men and women. Because even when you see like sports, like for dudes, like they're just like peak, male physicality, and if that isn't the goal anymore, I don't know, man. I have a big issue with embracing mediocrity.
Hold on, time out, Doc. I don't know if are we still live, Ian? Sorry, guys. Our power kind of flickered there a little bit. That was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the lights were going, and then it was like a hard, for like a quick second.
Nah, y'all just got a ghost. Y'all got to deal with
that. Yeah, I thought outside we was going to see some hectic outside.
I mean, it was supposed to be.
That's exactly how alien apocalypse would start.
Honestly, you're not wrong. Ian, check the news.
Like the immediate hopelessness. Dog, let's not talk about that.
Y'all think they'd go to Georgia though?
Bro, everything.
I mean, it's a major city. New York, Atlanta, California, LA.
They first off,
Austin or
honestly
Dallas.
Speaking, if you let's be real here. If you're talking about a world attack, they're gonna probably attack the places with most air travel movement. Meaning the Atlanta airport would be probably one of the first structures to be attacked.
It is one of the busiest airports, isn't it?
The busiest airport in the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's assuming they got that kind of information on them. So
Nigga, they traveled here. Everything is over.
I just think of Independence Day, man. They're just gonna land above
the ocean.
buildings.
No, the Independence Day, they were above cities, major spots.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's like New York, DC, and
Just America.
No, it's all over the world. Like even
Oh,
Hong
yeah.
Kong and somewhere in Africa and like Egypt and somewhere in Europe, like all the places.
yeah, it was all like the country, like state capitals or country, like national capitals, and then like whatever major cities.
Yeah.
So maybe Georgia then. Yeah.
All right.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all fake deep thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.